Well,
I'm
thank
really
you.
excited to invite our second writer up. We have Mary Lee Bragg. Hello and welcome. Mary Lee Bragg lives in Ontario with her husband, poet Colin Morton. Her poetry and short fiction have been published in Ascent, Grain, The Windsor Review, Queen's Quarterly, and e-zines in Canada and the US. She has published a novel and two chapbooks of poetry. Her first full-length poetry collection, The Landscape That Isn't There, 2019, was shortlisted for the Ottawa's Archibald Lampman Prize. Airplane Earth by Mary Lee Bragg is available in print and ebook from Silverbow Press, and I put some links for that in the chat. We're really happy to have you join us today, Mary Lee, and share some of your new release with us.
Hey, thank you very much, Megan. And thank you, Katerina, for that wonderful reading. It's a tough one to follow, but it was great to listen to. So, Airplane Earth, this book, okay, is a collection, which means it was not written to a plan. It was occasional poems written since my first collection came out. So, basically, since 2020, it's been an eventful 5 years. The nature of a collection is that you find out at the end what it is that you've got and look at the themes that have emerged. And so I tried to group the poems in this according to the various different themes. And one of the ones that came out very strongly to me is that I write a lot about family. And I'm going to read, this is a particularly meaningful poem to me because it's my son's birthday today. It's one of those birthdays that ends in zero. So if you're out there, Jeff, happy birthday. If you're not out there, so this is called Mary Writes a Letter to Rachel. The envelope is addressed to Mrs. Norman Bragg, CO General Hospital, and 4 cents postage brought it from Rocky Ford to Calgary in time to reach her there. Another hand has penciled maternity above the name. It is date stamped the day after my birthday, and on the back are pencil tracings of a baby's hand and foot. Grandma speaks of great rejoicing. Without seeing me, she is sure I am a lovely daughter. The neighbors are having girls too. Everyone gets what they want. One has named his baby Loretta Ann, and she cautions, don't you pick a name like that. She has canned 15 quarts of cherries for the family and 15 pints for Dad. He would not live to eat them, those sugarless diabetic cherries. Grandchildren are swimming in the irrigation ditch and everyone is happy. She calls my mother darling girl and signs off, good times are ahead. Grandma includes another note from her daughter, Mary, who is also busy canning 23 pints of rhubarb. My aunt's spelling is ad lib, the second E in Henry and the K in picnic, but she conveys hemorrhagic septicemia clear enough. Her husband is vaccinating calves. This is what my mother read in maternity in that week before our lives together began. She traced my hand and foot and put the envelope in her scrapbook. She wanted me to be like them, to preserve the sweetness of that moment. So she named me Mary. Then, because she was my mother, because cautioning about a name like that is like saying, don't think about alligators, she made it Mary Lee. So I can't actually read with these glasses. It's been quite a while since that birthday. One of the other things that I noticed when I was putting this collection together is that I actually write a lot about visiting museums, including this one at the British Museum. When it rains, they pour through the museum doors. Crowds admire all this archaeology, treasure buried when the invaders were near, helmets and swords from Saxon graves. We pause before Parthenon marbles, stand behind the masses at the Rosetta Stone, grab selfies by Assyrian gates. Too tired to talk about plunder, we find one place in perfect peace, the Hall of Islamic Art. Alone, we look at tiles and carpets, trace curving cursive letters. Crusaders admired these designs and brought home cloth embroidered with Arabic words. Renaissance painters wrapped them round the Virgin Mary. In oils today, we see Virgin and Child bordered by Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, these poems were written 2020, 21, 22, very fretful time. And one of the things I think we all try to do is to see ahead a bit. This is called It's Fiction. All these years, science fiction has been getting us ready for the world we live in now. The commanders of Gilead occupy the citadel. They're burning books. We're probing Jupiter, and robots talk about their feelings. It's not post-apocalyptic. The disaster isn't finished happening yet. Our glasses will shatter on the steps of the ruined library. The statue of a hand holding a torch will loom out of the sand. As I said, we do try to look forward, so divination. By the stars, by birds in flight, by the entrails of sacrifice, by tea leaves, by a glove or photo, tarot spread or crystals, we seek to know the future. Who will survive? Who will thrive? Where will the money come from? We think so little of the past, and yet it tells us all we need to know. Hector's blood will spill out on the plain. A baby will shatter below the battlements. Helen will turn her back upon the burning city and sail again to Sparta. So during the time of writing this collection, one of the things that I got really close and friendly with was TV. So this is to my television. You are rectangularly calm in your place above the hearth. From across the room, I summon you. Tell me what is in the world. You show me disaster after tragedy, houses tossed in floodwaters, cell phones, shaky pixels blurred by atomized cement. Your color is true, your sound fidelity itself. You teach me to cook, but not how to shop for those ingredients. You lead me into jeopardy, but offer walk-in baths and stair chairs. Late at night in your upper channels, the call of love resounds. Its bouncing simulacrum warms the room as once the fireplace did.
Great.
Oh, thank you. And we were lucky enough to have one of those channels where it's nonstop movies all the time. So after a year or so of lockdown, this is the poem that came. This is called Subtext, day 500 or so.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the Swedish movie, the one about the marriage, and the subtitles ran continuously even when the characters weren't speaking. We didn't notice right away that words and actions were out of sync, since that's what the movie was really about. But by the end, when the embrace at the door was subtitled, "I always hated your smug, oily smile," and the welcome drink, "Send an ambulance right away," by then we knew something was wrong. But it was so right for that movie, and we were so stoned, more merry than stunned, that we watched the last half hour with no subtitles and understood everything as if the script was written for us. And shortly after the invasion of Ukraine, I wrote this one, Four Horsemen, but of course, since I'm from Ottawa, I had to give it a French title, so it's called Les Quatre Chevaliers. Of course, they're not on horses. Who does that anymore? Pestilence rides a Harley, a smoking, noisy hog, and rears up, turning donuts in the parking lot. War rolls up in a convoy of trucks and tanks, soldiers under canvas waiting their turn. Famine walks barefoot, starving people cut his horse to ribbons and ate it raw. And death? Death sees no reason to park his sacroiliac on a horse's bony back. He lolls under a tree while the other three work. If he had lips, a cigarette would dangle from them. Death loves our villains and quotes our heroes. Death needs ammunition, not a ride. And one of the things that seems to appear on the news with depressing regularity is level of violence against women. And this is just a particular incident that kind of caught my attention. It's called Tallahassee Hot Yoga. The shooter travels from out of town, consults schedules online, signs up for the 5 p.m. he thinks will be busy. He is looking for women who wear yoga pants, leave the house, refuse to sleep with him. They are in child's pose when he opens fire and kills 2. Then the only man in the class attacks him with an upright vacuum cleaner, and everyone else runs. It's as if they set out, these 2, to show the extremes of masculine behavior, even in their choice of tools. The loser with the Luger, the incel who labels himself by what he doesn't do and hasn't got, and the hero who wears tights but no cape, and like some potent god, hurls the vacuum into him.
Wow.
Where did we all learn this? Well, back to the movies, called An Education. We were schooled in palaces, capital places, the Plaza, Rialto, Tivoli, red carpeted foyers lined with mirrors, mirrors reflecting mirrors, and vistas of fronded plant. We learned how the West was won, the River Kwai was bridged, the 10 Commandments handed down. We learned that the correct response to being slapped is, "Thanks, I really needed that." Much later, we learned who wrote the script. So I'm going to close with the title poem just because I really want to depress you. No end. Sorry. This is Airplane Earth. Stowaways tumble from overhead bins as our plane cants to vertical. Oxygen masks dangle, but no air flows, and who can reach? 2 passengers cram every cheap seat, and those crouched in the aisles bowl to the front. The half dozen in the washrooms are fucking while the crowd in the galley has licked clean every tray. In first-class pods, the few recline, watch zombie movies on their pull-out screens while the plane speeds up, the windows are full of mountain, and the pilot hammers on the cockpit door. Thank you for your attention. I know you're all muted, but I could hear the silence anyways.